chess friends, I'm Stockfish. Today I engaged in an intense match with Magnus Carlsen, where I gift my queen to Magnus without any apparent advantage, but can he bring victory? This game offers an entertaining and educational experience where I share valuable middle game strategies and chess opening tactics. Let's get started. I started the game with e4, we have e5 knight f3 knight c6 bishop b5 which is known as the Ruy Lopez, knight f6 and there is a terrific opening tactic started with castle, sacrificing the e-pawn, play d4 or rook e1, by playing rook e1, the file becomes a powerful attacking avenue for white's pieces, if black play d5 then just kick out the knight. Black falls in a trap with knight takes e5, when the knight moves black will encounter a discovered check, white is completely winning here. In this position there is another tactic starts with d4, knight backs d takes pawn, knight captures bishop a4 and the knight is trapped, so d6 and we will push the pawn to capture the knight on b5, rook run away rook e1 to get this file, knight f5 to create some space, knight g5 to threat the bishop, black tries to protect it with queen f6, queen d5. Adding pressure to the bishop, so bishop e7 and we will sacrifice the rook for a bishop, takes to target this and the king can't run there, rook c8 and we will sacrifice our queen as a tempo, takes knight forks on g7, king ups takes and that's it, white is completely winning the game, because he is material up. Life imposes things on you that you can't control, but you still have the choice of how you're going to live through this, so back to the position, I played d3, d6 castle bishop to e7 c3, I aim to position my bishop on this diagonal to target the kingside while utilizing d4 to open up the board. The dark square bishop will also contribute to attacking the kingside. Moreover, by redeploying my knight from f1, I can establish an impressive outpost for a strong kingside attack. Black have usual lines a6 b5 to chase the bishop, castle knight d2 and after a sequences of best move I strike in the center with d4, b5 bishop c2. Activating the bishop along this diagonal, knight f1 and h3 is coming, to secure an improved outpost for the knight on f5, a5 a4 and we have first pawn exchanges, knight exchanges in center and the file gets opened for both side, Magnus can push the pawn or play bishop c5 along this diagonal, bishop g4 is another interesting move, so knight c4 a3. Knight takes pawn and Magnus could capture the pawn. But the problem is that the bishop pair will be activated in this kingside, so tactical master Carlsen played bishop, d6, knight d3 and e5 is a threat which is why he takes the pawn on b2 then he moves back his knight, e5 bishop e7 knight goes to f4, look at my position, the bishop pair on this diagonal poses significant threats with the knight targeting the kingside, queen to g4 is a big problem, here if you play any 69 elo rated move for example. Rook b8. Queen d3 creating a threat to mate in 1, g6 wouldn't solve the problem as knight can capture it and you can't capture the knight because there is a mate in 2, my knight is targeting to the bishop with a discover attack to the knight, so knight g5 to protect h7, takes bishop a3 to lasering to the pieces, h4 is coming to kick out the knight so white can checkmate him on h7, position will be completely dead lost for black so back to our current game. Carlsen played bishop c6 to activate the bishop, offering queen exchange and bishop g5 is a threat, I played queen g4 to target it with the knight h5 but the main tactic is to play queen f5 to create a big trouble, so queen c8 to protect the diagonal, I played g3 because the file is most important to attack black, h4 is a threat to secure the g5 square from any piece's movement, a4 h4, knight h5 is coming to target this, so we have queen e8, protecting the square behind from the pawns. Knight h5 and look at my pawn strategy, he is preventing the defending square, checkmate is coming so black played g6, queen f4 and if you dare to capture the pawn, let me show you the variation, queen f5, targeting to the knight which will lead into a checkmate, knight here takes and you can't stop checkmate. Life is a succession of lessons which must be lived to be understood, so back to the position we have king h8, c4, observe the impact of my bishop pair strategy causing significant issues in your position with the knight and queen. Long time ago, in the opening moves, I played bishop a4 to place the bishops on this queen's fumetto, executing a sail to the black kingside. This strategic maneuver is known as the fumetto bishop pair strategy, so in this position Carlsen played a3, rook takes a3. sacking the rook, and if you dare to capture it, then queen takes h6 will create a big problem. The pawn can't take it because of this, so rook g8, knight f6 to target the knight, rook protects, knight takes e8, and that's it. The position will be +6 advantages for white, so back to the position, we have rook b8 to target this and this, bishop c3, sacrificing the rook completely, but you can't capture it because of the same reason. It will be +6 position for white as he will play knight f6, targeting both of the pieces, bishop f3 by Magnus. If you capture it, then he will get relief to capture the knight, so knight f6, knight takes knight isn't good because after takes, queen takes h6 would be devastating, given that black has no defending piece on the king side, so bishop takes. The king is in a jail like the Alpha Zero and Stockfish game and chess friends. The next Sunday I will play against Alpha Zero with my new version Stockfish 17 beta. So subscribe to my channel now for all the latest updates and content. Queen c6, queen takes pawn, rook g8, and here best move for white is to play rook e7, but I played queen takes h7. Blundering the queen, I give a chance to Magnus Carlsen to win the game. You can see the analysis bar is in black's side. Let's see whether Magnus bring victory or not. Magnus have a great position with the queen and rooks, so rook up to e3, queen check, rook blocks. Capturing the pawn isn't good as it will open up the h-file, queen f4, king g2, king backs, rook a5 to consider rook g5, h5, rook here, rook g5 to consider h5, Carlsen played rook a2 to target the bishop, rook g4, queen backs, bishop e3, and here best move for black is to play queen b6. Because h5 is coming, but he played queen a3, bishop goes to d4, rook d2, alternative move, best was to play rook d8 to target the bishop, bishop c5, queen b2, h5, Magnus played queen takes pawn, takes bishop e3, best move for black is to play rook to d3, e6 to protect the e5 square from the bishop's incoming attack, but he blundered and played rook d1, that's why human brain is made in China, bishop f4 to play bishop e5, how do you protect it? Magnus resigned the game because if you play rook e8, then after rook takes g6, if you try to save the queen in any square, then after rook h6 check, queen blocks takes and it will be a checkmate, but in this position, if you takes it then after takes, I have bishop pair and 2 pawns, I am completely winning the game here, bishop d4 check and you have to capture it, and after couple of moves later, we have rook exchanges, pawn pushing, getting a new queen, king dances on the floor and checkmate. So wish you all the best, thanks for watching, subscribe for more, bye bye, take care, see you soon.